Hi everyone, Comic Reviewer here, this time reviewing on issue 2 of Captain America Marvel Now. Now, as you know, back in 2013 or 14, we had Marvel Now, which was sort of revamping other characters, like Iron Man, Spider-Man, Thor, and eventually, Captain America. And the point of the early issues were meant to have Captain America stuck in another dimension that was created by Adam Solar. And the point of Cap with the sort of young creation, Ian, was meant to have a more sort of realistic and kind of sympathetic story. So let's get on the review. The story mainly starts off how 1 year later, we see how Steve is setting up camp and is trying to make sure that Ian's okay, and also making sure that he's alright in that. And we know that Cap has to figure out how to get out of Zola's dimension, and also as well find out what he did to him. So of course we kind of see him looking into his bag, checking all his stuff, and of course we are introduced to a flashback back in 1926 with a young Steve Rogers saying, "News off the press, get your paper, 2 cents. And of course we see how the neighbourhood bullies decide to pick on him and point out how his dad drunk himself to death, showing that Steve's dad died. And of course they start beating the merciful crud out of him and take off with his papers and that. And we kind of see how Steve's mum gets ready to kind of work at the night shift, and we see how, her father's making sure that Steve Rogers is going to be alright. And as soon as he gets in, we kind of see how his mum is shocked and appalled at what happened to him. And we kind of see how his grandfather says, "You don't listen to them, boss Steve. They don't know us. And they don't even know your dad. He was a good man, but he lost hope. A man who loses that." And you can kind of tell that, his grandfather's right. It was clear that it's clear that Steve's dad wanted to go the distance, but it was never gonna happen. And there are people who take out their failures and misery on others, while they could have done something more. And we kind of see how, Steve has to bravely cross the sort of environments to kind of keep Ian safe. And we see how the other residents are keeping watch of him. And of course, as they kind of try to narrowly avoid the sort of sandstorm, we see how Zola's henchmen go after him. And then being like monstrosity, saying, "Pellic sweep, eat now murder, kill drill quill, murder slice." And of course, we kind of see how Cap has a kind of used environment and making sure to kind of keep Ian safe, and even using his shield to destroy one of the sort of like speeders. And we kind of see how they try to shoot down Cap, but him using his shield ends up taking down one of the other ones. And of course, one of them also gets the energy blade, saying, "We eat when we please, cook it and eat, we know you will feel. Now do you burn." And of course, we kind of see how Cap has to kind of figure out how to get Ian and himself out of here. So he kind of uses his surroundings by using the biggest creature. And of course, it now turns its attentions to Steve, but of course, uses the gun to kind of take it out. And of course, after narrowly avoiding it, we kind of see how Cap and Ian are captured by some of the residents, and of course, are in an underground dungeon, with Ian saying, "Papa? Ian, are you alright?" And we see how he points out that he's scared, and we kind of see Cap saying, "Listen to me, we're okay, I'll find a way." And of course, they mainly bring them to their leader, and we kind of see how Cap figures out that, this is meant to be their leader. And of course, even points out how Hank Pym has a universal translator that was built into his costume, and can basically activate it. And of course, just as it looks like Cap's about to win an advantage, kind of still hold it down. And we kind of see how, it looks like Ian might die, even though he's not going to. And this is the story. So I think, yeah, issue 2 isn't too bad. Again, I think the point of Captain America with Ian is meant to be a reflection of what Cap was like as a kid. And it's this basically Cap helping Ian and possibly the residents in Zola's dimension to be that hero again. And the point of Cap's childhood was just meant to be showing you that, in the end, Cap was going to be the hero the world needed. And I think this issue definitely deserves thumbs in the middle. It's not that bad, not that great, but still alright. So, Comic Reviewer here, signing out.